under Team Academy IAPS and eConnect. And today we have Dr. Prachit R, who is Associate Professor in Department of Community Medicine, Kasturba Medical College, Bangalore, Manipal Academy of Higher Education, Karnataka, India. A warm welcome to you, sir, on behalf of all the audience.
Thank you.
And today we are going to talk on a very serious topic, that is cancer. And as a person, I can feel that cancer is a disease which is more than a disease. It is a trauma to a patient when a person comes to know that he has or she has cancer. So today we will talk about cancer, that what is cancer and what are the different types of cancer, what are the main factors which causing cancer. So let's start the session. And sir, I would like to start the session with the first question, that in your view, what is cancer?
So, namaste to all. So, yes, I would totally agree with you. Cancer is a trauma, not just physical, but mental, emotional trauma as well. But it is preventable. So, what is cancer? To answer your question, cancer is abnormal cell growth. So, we have many cells in our body, thousands of cells, innumerable cells. So, they keep multiplying. Okay, when the multiplication and growth is abnormal, which is not controllable, that becomes cancer. So abnormal, uncontrollable growth and multiplication of cells is called cancer, and then eventually what happens is it may spread to the other parts of the body. So medically we call that as metastasis, when the cancer spreads. Okay, so this is cancer.
Right. Okay, so this is the common question comes in every mind, that who may get cancer or who are at the main risk for getting the cancer.
Yes, anybody may get cancer. It could be an elderly person, it could be a child, it could be a youngster, it could be a man, a woman, or somebody who belongs to a rich background, a poor person, somebody who has poverty. So, cancer does not differentiate. Okay, like how we human beings differentiate, cancer does not differentiate. So anybody might be at risk of developing cancer. Of course, we have certain high risk groups for some specific types of cancer, but anybody can get cancer.
I have heard somewhere, sir, that it is a lifestyle disease. Is it true or a myth?
Yes, to a certain extent, our lifestyle practices may be a risk factor for cancer, especially our bad lifestyle practices. Like it could be consuming alcohol, smoking. Smoking, we know, is associated with many types of cancer. Chewing tobacco, or it could be dietary practices like consuming a diet which is rich in saturated fats. So yes, to a certain extent, cancer is a lifestyle disease.
Okay, so what are the warning signs for cancer?
So there are multiple warning signs of cancer. First of all, an ulcer or a wound in the anywhere in the body. It could be in the mouth or anywhere in the body that does not heal. That is persistent. That does not go away very easily. Bleeding from any of the parts of the body which is unexplained. There's no other obvious cause for that. Weight loss, significant weight loss could be another warning sign. When there's a drastic, unexplained weight loss, that could be a warning sign. When there's change in our bowel and bladder habits, that is, either a person may get constipation or diarrhea, or, the urination related issues set in, and there's no other obvious cause for that. That could be another warning sign. Any lump or what we call a swelling in any part of the body, so that could be a warning sign. Okay, a nagging cough which doesn't go away could be a warning sign. Digestion related issues, difficulty in swallowing or indigestion, that could be a warning sign. So having said that, doesn't mean that if an individual has one of these warning signs, he is 100% confirmed to have cancer. So these are just signs which tell us that, look, we need to go to a doctor, get ourselves tested. So these are the warning signs or danger signs which could alert a person to go to a doctor for further checkup.
So these warning signs are for all type of cancer or any specific type of cancer is?
So these are what I told is it could be for any type of cancer. So when we talk about specific types of cancer, for breast cancer, which is very common among women, a lump or swelling in the breast could be a warning sign. A swelling under the armpits could be a warning sign. Skin change over the breast or over the nipple, or what we call a skin dimpling, or when the nipple goes inside, is pulled inside, that could be another warning sign. So when we consider cervical cancer, which is again the number one killer disease among women, so there the warning signs could be bleeding from the private part, that is vagina, or post-menopausal bleeding, that is when the menses stop, usually at the age of 45 or 50 years for women. So unexplained bleeding from the private part or vagina could be another warning sign. Similarly, bleeding after intercourse could be another warning sign. So for oral cancer, again, swelling that does not go away, swelling in the mouth or inside the mouth, or what we call as oral cavity that does not go away, that could be a warning sign. Difficulty in opening the mouth could be a warning sign. So depending on the specific type of cancer, there are specific warning signs. What I told was general, in general.
Okay, and what are the myths and misconceptions about cancer disease? You must have heard many things about these from the patients also. So please discuss with some myths and misconception about cancer.
Yes, being a community man, I'm a community medicine faculty basically. And one thing that I've always noticed is that there's a lot of stigma associated with cancer because of myths, misconceptions, and also because people are very scared to discuss about it in the open. First of all, there is a myth that cancer is communicable, that is, it spreads from one person to another. No, it is non communicable or non infectious. Just by being with another person who has cancer, the cancer does not spread to me. So that's a myth which many people have, unfortunately. Another misconception is that pain should always be there in cancer. No. Many of the cancers could be painless, and pain could come in at a very late stage or terminal stage. So that's another myth. Some people believe that all cancers are hereditary. Okay, somebody in the family, the elder father or grandfather had cancer, so even I'm going to get cancer. No, not all cancers are hereditary. Maybe around 20 to 30% of cancers may be hereditary. So another myth is that if we ignore all the warning signs, we'll be all right. We don't have to worry much. So that's a misconception. So because of this, people are not coming forward for treatment, coming forward for assessment.
And so please tell us about most common three cancers which are preventable.
Yes, when we talk about India, we have, of course, many cancers are there, but three common cancers for which we have simple and easy, painless screening tests, inexpensive screening tests available are oral cancer, breast cancer, and cervical cancer. So these are the three most common type of cancers here for which we have good screening test available. So oral cancer, I'm sure many would have heard of the risk factors. The risk factors are mainly consuming tobacco, which is common, of course, not just in the villages here in India, but also in cities. Then smoking could be another risk factor for oral cancer. And another cause could be people who do both, smoking and drinking alcohol. That could be another risk. So oral cancer is preventable. It is preventable.
Okay.
Similarly, breast cancer is another cancer which is very common among women. Causes are multiple, but it is preventable. Same holds good even for cervical cancer.
Okay, sir, as you have said that these are the most common, can you please tell us the early warning signs of oral cancer, breast cancer, and cervical cancer?
So the early warning signs of oral cancer here. So first of all, an ulcer or wound or a sore that is there in the mouth, anywhere in the mouth, that does not go away. It is there for weeks, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, more than that. All possible treatment has been tried out, but still it has not gone away. So that's a major warning sign. Then many of them find it difficult to open their mouths completely. Mouth opening becomes very difficult. So that's another warning sign. That tells the person that yes, it could be something else. Let's not be very negative that it's only cancer. It could be something else. However, it's very important to go to a doctor and get checked. So these are the warning signs of oral cancer. Then we have some pre-malignant conditions, that is one stage before oral cancer. So sometimes there could be red patches anywhere in the mouth. Medically, we call it as leukoplakia. Sorry, that's called erythroplakia. When there are red patches in the mouth, we call it as erythroplakia. When there are white patches anywhere in the oral cavity or mouth, we call it as leukoplakia. Then some of them may have both red and white patches. We call it as leukoerythroplakia. And similarly, some of them may find it difficult to open their mouths. That is called oral submucous fibrosis. So these are some of the warning signs of oral cancer. Then coming to breast cancer. So the major warning sign here is a lump or a swelling in the breast, or there could be skin changes around the breast. The skin around the breast there could be some dimpling of the skin, or the nipple, there could be some fluid or blood coming out of the nipple part of the breast, or there could be some skin changes in the nipple, or there could be a swelling in the armpit, under the armpit, or what we call medically as axilla. There could be a swelling there. So these are the warning signs of breast cancer, which any woman, if she examines her own breast, will be able to identify. Coming to cervical cancer, the warning signs here are bleeding, unexplained bleeding from the genital part or vagina. Or there could be post-menopausal bleeding, that is usually at the age of 50 or mid-40s, when menopause sets in. That is when the menses or menstrual cycles, menstruation stops in a woman. So when there's bleeding at that time, due to which is not attributed to any other cause, that could be a warning sign. Bleeding after having sexual intercourse, that could be another warning sign of cervical cancer. So to put it simple, bleeding is a major warning sign for cervical cancer.
So can we do self-examination for these cancers? And if,
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
what are
So
they?
self-examination can be practiced. So when we talk about oral cancer, there is self-examination of the mouth. So all we need is a mirror. We anyway stand in front of the mirror, comb our hair, we get ready. So when we stand in front of a mirror, we also brush our teeth twice a day, in the morning as well as night time. All we need to do is first try opening our mouth completely and see if there's any difficulty. If there's a difficulty in opening the mouth, that tells us that we need to go to a doctor. Then inspect the entire mouth. It could be front of the tongue, back side of the tongue, right side of the tongue, left side of the tongue, the gums, the upper gums and the lower gums, inside the mouth. Look for any of these patches, what I told, red colored patches. These are called erythroplakia. White colored patches, these are called leukoplakia, or there could be a mix of both these red and white colored patches. So that is something any individual can do. It's very simple. So we just have to look into the mirror and inspect our entire mouth. So that is self-examination of the mouth. Okay. So then when we talk about breast, there is self-examination of the breast, which every woman after the age of 40, as soon as she turns 40, every woman should practice it at least once a month on a fixed day. So suppose the woman is doing it, today is 24th September, and today she has done it. Next month, 24th of October, she needs to do it. So it should be a monthly frequency, and that has to be noted in the calendar. And what is done here? Again, it's very simple. She has to be instructed to stand in front of the mirror and then keep her hands, of course, above like this, and then inspect her breast. Look for any swelling in the breast, a lump in the breast, swelling in the armpits or axilla, any skin changes around the breast, what we call a skin dimpling. Is there any color change over the nipple? Is there anything coming out, what we call as discharge or blood coming out of the nipple? Or is there any skin change over the nipple itself? So look for these warning signs, and if there is any issue, go to your doctor at the earliest. Then every woman at the age of 40, and those women aged above 40 years, at least once a year, they should go to a doctor. It could be a surgeon or it could be a general doctor. They should go to a doctor and get their breasts examined. This is called examination by a physician. Okay, and then we also have something called mammography. Okay, it's a test, it's a simple test, it's like an x-ray of the breast. So every woman after the age of 50, maybe once a year or once in 5 years, as advised by the doctor, they can go and get this test done. So we have these techniques available through which we can detect both oral and breast cancer at a very early stage.
And is there any vaccine available for any cancer?
Yes, of course. So vaccine has an important role to play in cervical cancer. Okay, so cervical cancer is actually, it's caused by a virus. This is called as human papilloma virus. There are mainly there are two types which bother us and cause this cervical cancer: HPV 16 or human papilloma virus 16 and 18 type. So whom does this infect? This infects somebody who has the risk factors. It could be a woman who's having multiple sexual partners, or it could be a woman who has the other risk factors for cervical cancer. Like the cervical cancer is more common among married women. It's more common among women who have other risk factors as well. So this infection is the one that is responsible for cervical cancer. So this can be prevented. This HPV or human papilloma virus can be prevented by vaccinating women against it. So girls who are aged 11 years or 9 to 11 years are being vaccinated against cervical cancer by this HPV vaccine or human papilloma virus vaccine. So this is very common in the West. In Western countries like United States or UK, they have already practiced it. It's already there in the part of their as a part of their guidelines. However, in India, we are yet to accept it, but it is commercially available in certain hospitals. So before the onset of the first sexual activity, that is before, ideally before she gets married here, she needs to get vaccinated against this human papilloma virus. So vaccine definitely has a role to play.
So at any age we can get it, or in as you have said, at 11 years, any specific age? And is this a
Yes,
one time in a whole life, or we have to take another shots also?
correct. So as of now, one time is sufficient. But however, before the woman has her first sexual activity, it could be marriage. That's why it is always recommended at an early age, even in India.
Okay, so in the last of the session, please, any conclusive message from your side, sir?
Yes, I would like to conclude by saying that, you know, we should not get scared. Cancer, as we mentioned even in the beginning of the show, may cause trauma. Yes, trauma will be there, stress will be there, but it is preventable, it is treatable. If we detect cancer at a very early stage, and if we detect it at an early stage, we'll be able to get ourselves treated. And treatment at an early stage will be more effective. So there is also a CAN. If you look at the spelling of cancer, CANCER. CAN is can. Can matlab, yes, we can do it. We can prevent cancer. We can also treat cancer. Okay. So let's all join hands and make this world a better place to live in. And at the same time, give support to people who are having cancer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We get a very good message from you, and we will try to incorporate your suggestions in our life and try to live a healthy life. Thank you so much from Academia IAPS.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Namaste.